I'm getting that you get to actually feel stronger than you feel right now because you're stronger than you know. And it's this weird energy of feeling like you haven't had an actual. It feels almost like escape into your strength. I think the wording on that is very specific because you want to be able to feel strong and feel not necessarily powerful, but powerful in your own self confidence, path, practice, maybe. I feel like there is a lot of like power that's being kicked to the curb because there's a lot of like belief around this that you don't believe it's actually as uh, strong or can have as much strength as it can. And I think this strength is your own like it's not like your own personal strength about yourself, but it's kind of like how people maybe have ooh, how people have pointed and labeled your strength. There's like a pointing at this card. The strength card literally came out. So we're talking about strength here and the aspect of it and how people can make us think that, oh yeah, you're just gonna get eaten up by this lion. You're just gonna get eaten up by your own whatever the hell. There's a lot of like interesting energy around this of like people thinking that you're gonna act out with this energy, but you're sitting there probably one of the most humble people in the room according to all of these others as well. And the strength is very much indicating that you have it. It wouldn't come out upright either way or any other way. Um, so I feel my hair sticking out. So excuse me if I get distracted. Um, I felt called to just do this message pretty early in the morning. I don't even know if I've had enough sleep, but that's not the point. I got somewhere to be at in like 2-ish hours, and I think that this is going to be not no pun intended, but I think this is going to be a very strong message for somebody because strength is something that is so core to you right now. It's core to your being and how you're exploring yourself, how you're exploring newfound ventures. Um, I want to say activities, even putting ideas into action in a new way and finding a new stance on your strength. And it feels almost like a victory when you find it, but then you're kind of cutting this victory short because you feel like, oh, well, it shouldn't be that boastful, or I shouldn't be that boastful. But the only thing you're doing is standing in your power. So is it boastful to be correct? Is it boastful to be right? The Empress card. It fell like this way, like upright facing you, but I want to flip it reverse because I feel like it is this underlying behind the scenes energy that's happening is the reason why it's in the reverse. Sometimes reverse cards for me I see as like things that are like in the mind space or like things that haven't happened yet. And I think the big thing that hasn't happened yet is you cultivating a relationship with your strength. The Empress is looking over at the strength like I can work with you, but and then it's coming up with all these millions of reasons of but this, but that, but the other. And I don't want you to feel like you like just because you can cut yourself short on that victory doesn't mean you should or have to just because other people say. There's something about like taking this with you to your core and to your soul and deeply root this acceptance of your power and your strength because this deeply rooted acceptance is exactly what is needed to grow all of the things that you're trying to grow. The Empress isn't just out here trying to manifest something specific. You are growing a lot of stuff in your metaphorical garden, which is just growing a lot of things in your life. If it's growing relationships, growing yourself, or even growing those seeds of opportunity, those metaphorical seeds of our path and what we choose to do with it, and what we choose to create and pursue and go after, what drives us to really keep getting up and watering these plants. Because I think you have been someone who has watered your metaphorical plants, your uh, opportunity plants. You have your plants of your life path, whatever it may be. You've taken care of them with an element of water, with an element of calm, compassion, and clear. I think there's a lot of clear intuition here happening, and that's the key of why you probably need to see this, and this message needed to get out, because you are very clear on how you're not being clear to yourself. You're not being clear to yourself about who you are, who you're meant to be, and who you not only are capable of being, but can be. Off the top of the deck is the Eight of Cups. We have Nine of Pentacles and Eight of Cups reversed. I feel like you're really trying to get out of this mindset of, oh, I gotta cut my victory short, but you kind of like forget this only when you're not thinking about where you've come from and where you're going. Because Nine of Pentacles gives me this independent, it's this independent energy that not only have you completed things, things have come to fruition, things have been successful for you. You finding your strength, finding your power, that was very successful for you. But cutting that victory short kind of cuts out the whole point of you appreciating your work. You appreciating the work that you have done and the work that you will do in the future, because I feel like a lot of this work is quote unquote how you can explore not only yourself in the deepest parts of your soul, but exploring your own self through actions that you do, the things that you create, the things that you say, yeah, that's kind of checking 8 out of 10 boxes here, but I'm gonna go to see if I can find something that checks all my boxes in any sort of aspect. This doesn't even have to be relationships. It could be like a job. You seeing a job and being like, I could go with this offer, but it honestly isn't right for me, and I want to wait until there's something like exactly right for you, because right for me is what you're saying. And I feel like the aspect of actually exploring what is correct for your life right now is the aspect of all of this strength coming up within you. I feel like you've seen how this strength can play out in your life, and that, I'm hearing it kind of scares you, but it doesn't scare you in a way that you, I feel like, can rationally explain. We have the Moon card here. The Moon card is giving me this idea that you have a clear line of sight on what you know you need to do when it comes to stepping into the places in your mind and committing to a lot of shadow work here. But it's not a lot of like, oh yeah, you got a lot on your plate, you got a lot of homework to do, internal homework. You have a lot of internal, I want to say, strength building exercises. There's a little eyelash in my fucking mouth or something. That was weird. I don't know why I thought that like you're eating your intuition for breakfast and lunch, and maybe you'll have it for dinner. That's the weird metaphor I'm getting here. You're having your intuition for breakfast, lunch, and okay, maybe I guess we'll have it for dinner, when in reality you should be, I want to say, it's like consuming in a way that you're like committing to your own personal strength to follow that clear intuition. And I think the big thing for you is you haven't ever felt like you could follow this clear intuition, but you understand what's being illuminated in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And all of this is also illuminating how you probably have been treated towards you trying to be successful in believing in your own strength. I think there's a lot of I always use the word adversary like energies that try to like make you kind of stumble on what you are meant to be doing, but you're sitting here like, no, I have a lot of ideas, I have a lot of things I want to cultivate, create, and do, but I can do all of that if I just believe in myself, if I just have strength, if I just continue committing to being strong in my own nature, being clear and true to my own self. 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands upright, and 10 of Wands reversed. You have a lot to you that is being super, super explored right now, and I think the big message is you are strong, you are powerful. I don't know who needs to be telling themselves that almost every day, but you need to, when you catch yourself in those moments of, oh, I'm not that great, I should just cut my victory short, say no. The reason you feel like that you have this very powerful victory of strength, victory of finding your strength, um, it's so powerful because you are so strong on the inside. Like deep down, you have strength of like 10,000 horses or something like that. Um, and you've been actually able to commit to what is needed to be let go, or what is your true responsibility as, I feel like, your spiritual self. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who has a lot of does a lot of quote unquote spiritual hygiene is the best way I can put it. Um because I feel like your spiritual hygiene is very, very key to how you function in the real world, and I feel like some spiritual hygiene needs to be done in the area of strength. What has been making you feel like you lack this strength? And I feel like I'm getting that there's some objects that could hold energy and hold old energy, old stagnant uh past energy that doesn't serve you. And it's not like you need to get rid of these things. I'm getting there's like a repurposing of your elements, the tools that keep you in your element of strength, the tools that keep you in your element of clear intuition. You gotta clear out these tools. I don't know if you are just someone who's spiritual who uses um, let's say there's a tarot deck or an oracle deck that you've been using for like months, and you not once wanted to, not necessarily, you didn't like cleanse it in a very simple way, because I feel like the simplest way to cleanse a deck is to stick a piece of selenite or satin spar on top of it. um, and it's not like you didn't have a piece of selenite to cleanse yourself. It's not like you didn't have the most simple thing to do your spiritual cleanse. I feel like there's an aspect of really like clearing out this energy. And I don't know if you need to use the sun, but somebody needs to put a lot of their spiritual tools in the sun if they can, to really like purify them. There's a difference between cleansing and purifying. Purifying means you're getting really all of the energy out, and you can refill it in with whatever you want it to be filled with, or you can keep it as it's like, I have a belief that every tarot deck has its own energy. So I try not to purify that out, but like it's kind of hard to when it has cards of very esoteric imagery on them. At least in my opinion. Um, I really will purify things because I feel like it gets a lot of that stuck energy out. It's almost like you are cleaning something with a basic like soap and water to cleanse something, but when you purify, you are literally like boiling off something. You are literally putting something in a fire to burn off the impurities, the things that don't serve you. And I think that is this fire that is needed to be had to be able to burn away and purify all of the impurities that I feel like have been placed upon you. It's like you don't think you are impure at all. It's like these impurities I feel like were placed upon you of like, people make you feel like this and people make you feel like that, and I'm not sure exactly what is this like. It's like a thing that you kind of were like insecure about, but as you got older you just grew out of the insecurity, and then you have people wanting to be like, poke 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 at your insecurity, poke poke poke, you're this, remember, poke poke poke. I really am not any of those things anymore. I guess I used to be insecure about that one thing when I was like 12, like where it made sense to be insecure about things when we are going through puberty, a very unsure time of our youth. And even if you're just not even like in that youthful part, like I always say that whenever I talk about the younger aspects of ourselves, that it could be at any age, at any time. And it feels like whatever situation that there's this like poke, 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 you're this, you're that, it's like, yeah, in that moment, not anymore, like at first, but then you have the actual emotional intelligence to reconcile with yourself of you are not this insecurity, you are not this impurity, and you can move on from it and actually feel that strength. And I think what's being cut off is when you feel these little like pokes of, oh, you're this, you're that, whether that's other people or just like that internal voice sometimes that just is our own personal critic. We all critique ourselves. Um, Good, bad, ugly, mediocre, kind of alright. We always critique ourselves. And I feel like this critiquing isn't necessarily you, it's just the, well, am I still insecure kind of thought. And I think that's where these little, like, pokes of other people are getting into your head to make you think that you're not seeing clearly, that the waters are actually a lot muddier than they seem, but you understand that you wouldn't be able to see any of these muddy waters if the moon wasn't out here illuminating everything about why the waters are even muddy. Because if we want to talk about why the waters are actually muddy, you got to point fingers at other people. And you know that that's a strength that you have, and you know that's going to be something that they're not going to like. You're going to be like, you are the reason this is muddy, and my shoes are clean. I didn't walk around in any mud over here and just walk into this water and not care about what was on my shoes. I took my shoes off and was actually clean when I got in here. And then you stepped in with your dirty ass shoes and muddied it all up. And it feels almost like that this is this strength that is also being called to you. You got to be very direct. I know it's hard to be very direct when you feel like that you're just going to be demonized for it, for being a bit blunt. I say a bit because you're just being very much adult speaking, speaking very firmly, very maturely, very direct to someone. And this can either get through to them or it can't. But the fact is, you have to try. Because I feel like there's going to be a lot of thoughts, a lot of beliefs of like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you can't say this, you can't say that. And I feel like you're like, no, I can say it. I'm going to say it right the fuck now, no matter, regardless of how you feel about it, is kind of like your attitude. And a little hair flip is all I got to say to that. Knight of Swords is also like, do not communicate with people who you don't need to communicate to. If you understand that you need to get something out and verbalize it, you're just saying it for your own truth, okay? None of this is to convince other people. And, ooh, we have the Death card. We have the Death card, Page of Swords reversed, and Seven of Pentacles all reversed. I'm going to see what's on the top here. I'm going to take these two cards. We have Page of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, okay. Actually, I'll just leave that in my lap. Okay. So, Death and Page of Swords. The acceptance of understanding where your voice and your intellect is very, not only sharp, but very much accepting of the truth. You are someone who, with your words and with your ideas and your thoughts and your strength, you can be very, very powerful in how you explore acceptance. Sorry, I think the loafs were being a little reckless around the house. Back to the acceptance here. This acceptance has had a hard time to grow within you. Because I feel like one part of it is understanding how to feel fulfilled in this level of strength, how to feel fulfilled in this level of acceptance in yourself. Because the Page of Cups wouldn't be in reverse if you didn't feel fulfilled by it, or if you did not feel fulfilled by it. English is hard sometimes. feel like you're picking up what I'm putting down. You have to understand where your cup of fulfillment lies in this strength, where you feel fulfilled the most when you are feeling the strongest. Because your strength and the victory you have in gaining this strength in yourself is really only for you to celebrate. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I feel like you are spending a lot of time not necessarily trying to prove yourself to other people, but there's a level of where when you're sitting there like, oh, am I being too much of this? Am I being too much of that? Is when you kind of feel like almost undeserving of this strength, but it's almost a weird like imposter syndrome. Because I feel like you understand where you can feel fulfilled, but also you need to explore this strength in its entirety in order to understand how it can change your life. Because the Wheel of Fortune is out here, like your own personal strength can change your life. You understand this entirely. And I feel like you want to explore more about how this can change your life and heal you. But you gotta move to the beat of your own drum. The star card's reversed because you're not gonna actually process the full healing and the full lesson of the healing if you don't go about it in your own way. Trust yourself. This is a whole aspect of trust and how you can see your own trust within, or your own strength within your trust and your own trust within your strength. I think that's a big thing to really like understand how to heal, but you're not going to fully even accept this healing if you don't believe in that own power of yours. Seven of Wands is this idea of like, you got a lot of other ideas, a lot of other people probably saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do the other, but you're like, no, I have this idea of what I should do. And I think you're saying to yourself, I'd be damned if I let this opportunity slip by me. So don't let it slip by you. Don't let your own strength be something that not only like slips by you, but don't let your own strength be, I want to say, dissolved away. Like it's like this buildup of energy to just dissipate and kind of start from square one again, like start from the ground up again of how to rebuild this strength. But I feel like the strength within yourself is everything that you've been doing. Anytime that you have metaphorically fallen down, what have you always done? Anytime you felt like super shitty about yourself, you sit there and actually look over all of the like evidence per se in your mind, and you sit there and you're like, no, I'm not what these people say I am. And it's to this level of truth that I feel like you are exploring within yourself. And the truth of the matter and the fact of the matter is that you are stronger than you know. You are so much more stronger than you know. And I can't explain how you are seeing yourself in this very lackluster strength, but it's also the key message is to not move forward, not to not stay put. You have to keep moving. You have to create action and create fulfillment within yourself. And I feel like this energy is going to really broaden the more that you explore yourself in your own way and you're very acceptant of how you feel. And I know it's hard when we have a lot of different energies wanting to say this, say that, and say the other, but you are exploring something that I feel like is super brand new to your heart that you can't not explain or explore this aspect of yourself. Queen of Swords, enlightenment here. The Queen of Swords is a key indicator of like an aha moment sometimes. And we already have the Page, I believe, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Swords already out here. And we are climbing up the Swords court cards here with the Queen here. The Queen of Swords is a very direct energy. The Queen of Swords is going to use every opportunity they have in front of them to not only build up the strength to commit to these ideas and bring them into action, but be very blunt on how they should be brought into action. The Queen of Swords does not mess around when it comes to her blueprints. You have a lot of blueprints to your heart, to your soul, to your strength. And I think you need to start actually working with your own blueprints here. Four of Swords. Hold on. And underneath that, Queen of Cups. Four of Swords and Queen of Cups. So this is also about reminding where your inner knowledge comes from when you feel most fulfilled in life and spiritually fulfilled. I'm getting and also guessing that for some of my very spiritual people watching this, you explore a lot of your spiritual hygiene in a very different, like, just way than anyone else would. And it's something you're very in tune with. And I feel like you need to find more fulfillment in your spiritual, like, I want to say, your spiritual creativity. Whatever it is that makes you feel powerful in your spiritual side of life, you need to explore this more, because this is allowing you to come up with newer ideas to strengthen this belief in yourself, to strengthen this knowledge. Hold on. Queen of Swords. This knowledge within you, so you can feel fulfilled and you can get some goddamn rest at the end of the day. When it comes to how you feel about the whole me, myself, and I in the world, there's an aspect of accepting this strength so you can let your brain rest. First off, 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Let's just discuss the aspect of stability here, and the stability of you understand yourself more than the I'm hearing, like, more than that scummy little person down the street, or whoever that scummy person is yapping all this stuff to you. You know yourself so much more than other people know themselves, and it's causing you to feel this level of stability that feels a little scary, because I think part of you is mixing up this stability with putting yourself on a pedestal, and it's not like a pedestal you're putting yourself on. You're building up strength, knowledge, determination, commitment, and you're driven towards all of this to gain fulfillment in life. The Tower, 7 of Pentacles again, and 5 of Swords. You have so much aspects of growth and change and internal just rebuilding, that you are internally rebuilding your sense of strength and your own spiritual sense of strength, or your strength in your spiritual path. I'm not really sure how these correlate with each other, because it feels like a lot of vice versa sort of energy. The Tower here is just direct as fuck and saying you have change that is happening to a core level of you that is changing the foundation of how you believe in your own strength, how you believe in your own self, how you even grow more opportunities and move past the obstacles that actually arise in life. Because you understand, 5 of Swords is this card where we understand that no matter who won the battle, we can move on with our own sense of self and our own self sort of victory at the end of the day. That isn't just the, oh, well, nana na boo boo, I won kind of attitude. It's the, well, you win some, you lose some, and who's to know who actually won here? I'm gonna keep it pushing, is this energy. But the energy that is tied with this is the fact that you keep it pushing, and the energies that actually give you growth. At the end of the day, you can't help but put your head down at night and want to feel strength inside yourself, inside your soul. And you find it sometimes. You do actually find it. We wouldn't be talking about it if you didn't find it already and you didn't use it in a very direct manner. Because part of you is a little very nervous and kind of scared about this energy, because I think what is so core to your being is how scary this uprooting of a foundation is going to be. I feel like you have this energy of people are like, oh, well, you're not, this isn't really you, you're just being this, you're just being that. Even some people saying, oh, well, you're just being naive, when in reality, I don't think you are. What's underneath this? You're being clear about how you choose things that are for you, and very much not choosing the things that are not for you. And I think that's hard for people to really grasp the concept of. I think you have a lot of people, like, confused on how you explore, like, your own personal growth, and it's like, oh, they couldn't possibly actually, like, learn to grow because of this, that, and the other. It's like all these like dumb reasons that just don't make sense. Like I'm getting that something just is dumb, it doesn't make sense, and your key to really being fulfilled is whatever you feel. To commit to accepting what you feel in your heart. Even all of the other stuff that you've accepted, of the good, the bad, the ugly kind of things. This is an acceptance of the self on a level that is trying to get you to believe in your own strength here, trying to get you to feel fulfilled at your own strength. And I feel like you are finding small ways, but keep reminding yourself where that you have gone when you've been in very, very low, dark times. You have found your way out again. I don't know, and it's like I don't even care how deep the pit was for you. You still got out of that pit on your own. Whatever was this time of darkness for you, this shadow self, this, I want to say, what do they call it? A dark moment of the soul or something like that. I forget the verbiage on that one. A dark time of the soul or something like that. I forget. Oh, there was something that was like that, where it was like in life we have like very dark and a shadow moment of the soul where everything just feels dark all around us, but it's also in this way of gaining you to see that light. You got to see the light, you got to see the strength, and you got to feel it and breathe it and embody it and be it in the sense of strength. But you got cut off in a way that I feel like is this jumping back to square one and saying, oh, well, do I deserve this? You did the fucking work. I'm hearing the, you did the work, honey. I don't need to tell you twice on whether you deserve it or not. You gotta feel like you deserve it. You gotta feel like you not only need it at the end of the day, but are determined to keep your strength in balance, to keep yourself believing in what you are strong at. Because sometimes our greatest weaknesses can be turned around to be our greatest strengths. Like, you understand that you may not feel very confident in yourself in this strength, but understanding that, okay, I don't feel confident, and that's okay, because it's just a human thing to feel like we're not going to be strong at something. It's something everyone kind of feels in a very large, like, big picture sense, like a macrocosm and then the microcosm. It's like the whole idea of it. I feel like this idea of strength has been not only super clear to you, but it's been super groundbreaking. And I feel like that's why you're scared, because you understand, I think, the power that you are feeling within you. And it's all about this like acceptance of the self. There's like so much level to accepting your own personal nature that you can't help but notice how when you feel like you're lacking your strength, that's the thing that gets you to notice, to get it into balance and to be strong again. And that should be the thing to kind of like kick you in action of, okay, find your moment of rest, find your, I want to say, tools of power, your spiritual tools of power, even if it's just like the smallest thing. I feel like there's something that you constantly like not only get to have in your journey, but you get to have a certain part of this spiritual side of you that has explored not only just how you feel in your heart and your mind, but how, I want to say, how you explore further change, further, I want to say, groundbreaking realizations and perspective shifts. I feel like you want to be able to get comfortable with strength and be able to recognize when, okay, I'm feeling weak right now, let me go find my rest and rejuvenate myself, recharge myself so I can be strong again. And whether you need that physically, mentally, or emotionally, you got to do it at your own pace. The Seven of Wands came out very, very specific there of like, you got to do this at your own pace. So I was curious what kind of advice we could get for the collective here, because I feel like you have a lot of energy within you of how you want to explore something, how you want to do something, how you want to be someone. Hold on. But you gotta build the bridge to yourself. Because I think you have, but you're ignoring this connection that you built to your strength. This connection you built in your heart. Hold on, what's this other one? We have the bridge and the vow. You made a promise to yourself. I don't know when the fuck this was, excuse my French, but you goddamn made a promise to yourself that you have fulfilled. And now you are forgetting that promise you made, that connection you made, that deep vow you made to yourself, that promise saying, we're not going to feel weak anymore. We're not going to feel like we can't not only speak our mind to the world, but speak your mind to yourself. Speak your mind in a way that is uprooting so many things for you. Uprooting things to rebuild a solid, more strong foundation, a stronger foundation than you had before, and with more enlightenment than you had before, more victory than you felt like you had before. But you couldn't do this without the actual aspect of you committing to yourself somewhere in the past. You've committed to how you wanted to view yourself and view these strengths and weaknesses, and you committed to that and you connected to it. You built the bridge, but now you're forgetting about that bridge that you built to yourself. We have the Pilgrim on the bottom of the deck. I feel like we're gonna read part of the Vow and part of the Pilgrim cards, because I feel like parts of these cards have a lot of interesting stuff in them. I'm gonna read the Vow because I feel like this is very key to how you feel about yourself. I'm gonna read the whole entire thing. So whatever resonates, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, obviously, because the book isn't obviously the whole message just for you, but it could be, who knows. The vow, the promise, the oath, and notice its orientation as well. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts, karmic ties are formed, and destiny tilts on its axis. Our words and intentions have immense power. There's a reason the great mythic stories of our past often include a recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. Maybe that was the vow that you forgot you made. The ancestors bear witness. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten, so breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommit to it or create a ritual that signifies its closure. You are doing both. You are committing to yourself and signifying the closure at the end of the day. Because the death card came out for acceptance. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. A little hair in my mouth. Anytime the energy of the vow is present, we are in the archetypal realm of ceremony and ritual. That means time to stand still and anything is possible. Think of the last promise you made. Was it to yourself or another? Has it been upheld or broken? When in light with this energy, you're bearing witness to the shift towards destiny. When in dark with this energy, you feel unconscious vows, unkept promises, and messy karma. To go deeper, learn the yamas, the 5 vows of the seeker. Not sure. Learn the yamas, the 5 vows of the seeker. I think some of you are a little struggling to get out of the messy karma stage, because I think you have a lot of energies that are like poke, 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 trying to make a mess out of what you're healing karmically. You're healing a lot of karma within you that I feel like is just not like bad karma. It's just the energy of karmic ties and karmic things within you. Because I feel like it could be any sense in the sense of like generational trauma, generational things that I want to say like have happened that you like are healing a whole entire aspect of. It's like the whole aspect of how the black sheep of the family is actually healing the family in more ways that the whole entire family can understand. So, let's go to the Pilgrim. Even in the most stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart towards what it loves. When you feel in light with the energy of the pilgrim, you learn, you grow, you adapt. When you feel in dark, you feel aloof, non-committal, and flaky. To go deeper, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And what was that? Ma Mean? Like Scene, Seen, but it's Mamin by David White. I don't know what that is, but I feel like you really need to hear it. And even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart towards what it loves. You need to sit within your own spiritual hygiene. I say spiritual hygiene because that can mean a lot of different things. Whether you're someone who just likes to cleanse themselves in the shower, I think that maybe that purifying energy was purifying your own self. Purifying your own heart of what is blocking you from regaining this promise, regaining this bridge to yourself, regaining this connection, this fulfilling connection to yourself. Because the bridge card wouldn't be out here for no fucking reason, okay? And we're gonna get one card from the Shamanic or Healing Oracle here, because I feel like you are just someone who's very, very spiritual and needs to hear something very simple but very deep. Every time I've pulled these cards, they've been such hitting the nail on the head of every single reading I've ever done, even for myself. I can't explain how, but also I can't not share them with you because I feel like you need some just other like conscious advice of, hey, this is a completely different deck. Let's see what comes out and see what resonates. Because I think you are someone who really resonates with synchronicities, and do not forget any synchronicities and signs you've seen in your life currently. I think you've explored a lot of those synchronicities and signs, but remember, choosing things that are for you and not choosing things that are not for you. Underneath the Seven of Cups, underneath the Seven of Cups is the Ten of Pentacles. You're so unsure about what you're choosing for you, but you know what's for you and what's not for you. You know where your stability lies. You need to be accepting of it because it's something that is only for you to explore. It's the strength that is only meant for you in this lifetime and not really for anyone else, unless you are willing to give that to other people that you care about. But that's up to you. But right now, you gotta take care of you. You gotta be consciously caring for you, and careful with how you are not necessarily cutting yourself short, but feeling like you're not doing enough. Oh my god, I was shuffling these upside down. Number 30, divine timing and discernment. Are you kidding me? I don't need to tell you twice because it sounds like Spirit is really trying to get you to be very discerned on what is giving you strength, what is fulfilling you, and what is getting you to get the ball rolling on this healing, on this acceptance of yourself. You are being very, very discerning right now, and I think Spirit is being very, very discerning of how you commit to yourself, because every bit of this has been happening in a divine timing sense. You have been seeing synchronicities probably out the wazoo, and you can't ignore them anymore. You just can't. We're gonna get one last card because I feel like there's something very curious to come out here to kind of end the reading. By the way, thank you for watching this far if you did. Let's get this last card out here. Very, very curious. We have Reunion of Souls, which is number 7, which, excuse me, number 7 is the card of strength. And I hope you all noticed that we have a 3 and a 6, and 3 plus 6 is 9, so 3, 6, 9 is very, very relevant here, which is a lot of Fibonacci sequence being very aligned to your soul's purpose. Reunion of the souls and not initiation, which is somewhat similar, integration. Number 33, integration. Another 3, 3, which equals 6. I'm going to say 6 plus 7 is 13, which 1 plus 3 is 4, if we're going to step into the numerology. of all of this, these two cards together, they equal 4 in a numerology sense. This is where you're getting your stability. Reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with a part of yourself as a form of integrating parts of your soul, parts of your experiences, parts of your weaknesses, and accepting them as, okay, I may not be strong in this area, but I can recognize this and try my best to either recharge myself, rejuvenate myself, or reconfirm to myself that I am not any of those things that other people say I am. I am a very divine being, is what I'm getting here. I think those, yeah, just these two cards. I wanted one card, but I got two. You wanted one answer, but you got multiple. And the last thing I have for you is this card on the bottom of the deck that says a new day. You have a new day really like being cultivated within your soul, and I don't think you can ignore it anymore. And I want you to be very, very conscious of how you speak to yourself in this time, in this moment, in this aspect, in this journey, because you have a lot of things that are, like, I want to say, getting the ground running on something and accepting a lot of this, like, this success in yourself, whether it's just with emotions or mental health. You are accepting that you've built strength and stability around something, but don't let all of those yappers and yammerers, those people yammering about some bullshit over there about you, or your own self-critic, to get caught up in what you used to think about yourself. I feel like the devil card is underneath here, kind of symbolizing, hey, don't get caught back up in those energies again, because that's not who you are. It's underneath this Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Cups again. Eight of Cups again. Look at this. This is you in its entirety. This image right here is, I feel like, you exploring how we don't feel good about these energies. These aren't fulfilling. We need to, I want to say, not only raise your vibration, but raise your energy up to where you know you're meant to be, where you know that you can be and are capable of being. And this is that new day that's dawning. This is a new day for your whole soul entirely, and a new day for a lot of your spiritual sides of things, whatever you get up to in that sort of magical practice of yours, or if you just like reading tarot, whatever it may be. There's a lot of spiritual hygiene that needs to be had, and double check with some of like the research that you have or can do on what to cleanse versus purify, and even just looking into cleansing versus purifying, and even just looking at things that you know you need to purify. Like there's a deck that I have that this is just an example. I'm not sure if I'd actually do this, but this specific tarot deck I use with deity work. And a specific deity that I work with, I will use this specific tarot deck for. But as soon as I'm done working with that deity, I'm going to, like, when I say cleanse the shit out of it, that literally means I'm purifying every bit of old energy and just getting it back to its, like, literally hitting the reset button, like a factory reset button on a computer or a piece of technology is what I kind of see as purifying. You are clearing the slate, clearing the canvas, creating a whole new blank canvas, basically, off of something that is just like, it's still a canvas at the end of the day. It's still its tarot deck at the end of the day. It's still itself. And I think that's the big thing you got to explore with you. When you purify all these impurities, you're not faking it. You're not putting on a mask and pretending to be someone else. This is purifying something to its core blank slate, clear blank canvas state, to the point where you're still you. You are still you at the end of the day. And I think you need to be reminded of that. And I'm grateful that you got to watch this entire video. And thank you. Thank you for letting me read your cards. I really am just grateful that I can get these messages out. Thank you, Spirit, for letting me be your little messenger for today and just continue to be the messenger, because I feel like I'm very grateful for the fact that I know for a fact someone needs to hear some of these things that I have to say. Thank you for letting me read your cards, and if you need any personal private readings, any of that stuff of that nature, check out the links in the descriptions, and please leave any comments, respectful ones, obviously, because obviously, like, I don't care if you want to critique what I have to say. I just ask that you be respectful about it. Constructive criticism, you know? That's a good way to put it. So, thank you for being here, and as always, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye.